Are you doing good? Check, check, check. And there I am. Perfect. Alright. Hate to say it, but today's stream's going to be a little bit shorter than usual. Because I'm going to do just a quick run for a burst of XP. A little bit of time. Because I've got some classes to catch up on. And, well, I still love doing this, and I am committed to doing this every Tuesday evening, Thursday evening, and if my Saturdays will open up, then Saturdays as well. But I've got more classes to do. Good man I've met, bought his book, told me about his stock trading course, and, well, it's a hard thing to turn down when I know that I could do it eventually. So, quick run of frack down to Oxnard. What is a nard? And I'll call that a day. Might as well take this opportunity to see how quickly I can get a job like this done. Even though normally there'd be no rush, and I'm not going to be excessive, because I like at least a tad of realism. It says that there's 36 hours remaining to get the job done, but only 15 to get there. So, let's see how much time I have left to spare after this run is done. The truck should have plenty of power. It's got 400 horses, and I'm only hauling 8,000 odd pounds of frack. So I should have no issues getting up to speed. Though I do think no trucker would be going this fast down, well, not paved dirt roads. But, like I said, I'd like to get this done quickly and get to my classes. Feeling a little more tired than I usually do. Which surprises me. Normally I wouldn't be tired for another 4.5 hours. But hey, I guess there's a first time for everything. Get my belly full of food and all of a sudden I feel like hibernating. I could use it. And like I'll continue to mention, it's the whole reason that I decided to start doing this. It's because driving for me is a bit of therapy, and maybe somebody will come in and need help sleeping. They can put this on in the background and get them some good night's rest. I know I enjoyed it when I was in high school and could put on people in the background, and when I got to dozing off with my phone in my hand and dropping it, I knew it was time to go to bed. Or I'd end up playing games until my dad starts leaving for work. At that point I'd know if I stayed up any later I wouldn't be able to pay attention in class. So is what it is. Oh, I forgot to say it. Life is a highway. I really do think it is. As long as you don't get stuck at an intersection. Or be indecisive at a crossroad. Life is a highway you can just run down. With little to no issue. Well, I say that, but even to good Christian people, trials and tribulations are going to show up. Because that's what makes you strong. tree with no breeze will fall in every storm. Ooh, I apologize, Kenny. There's a good reason to not be a real truck driver. People pull out like that, your brakes might not be that good. If he'd have been 80,000 pounds, he could lock up his brakes and still probably not have stopped in time. Oh, actually, I gotta correct that. Because sliding tires do not stop. So, locking the brakes is a terrible idea. But do they even have anti-lock brake systems on trailers? Now that's a question to be asking. Because pulsing brakes up to a certain point actually improves your stopping distance rather than just locking them up. I would know. I've driven vehicles with 0 anti-lock brakes. There have even been times on vehicles that I'd turn them off, just because. I think that's why a lot of popular streamers do challenges. Is 1, it changes up the pace of the game and makes it more enjoyable again. And 2, adding a bit of challenge can improve what skill you already have in a game. Say eventually I'm going to need to get a co-driver. Is that kind of thing possible? That would be cool to try and set up. Is 2 people being able to control characters in a game like ATS? Have one guy sit in the chair, the other guy driving, and when his clock runs out, they swap. If you did it with a sleeper, you could even get rest, and maybe that would be the balancing portion of the game, so 2 people in day cabs don't just, well, drive like it's running out of style. The phrase is going out of style. Anyway, see? I knew this thing would have plenty of horsepower. This guy's just being lazy. Hey! Hurry up! Oh, well thanks, but now I need to get over because I'm not a left lane Louie. Or, yeah, no, that's fine. I don't know what else I would have called it. Alright, well now you give me no choice. Make up your mind. Have mercy on the computer, it doesn't know any better. I will admit, that's a pretty good sound for the International Lone Star. It's about the only international someone like my dad would ever drive. And mainly just because of, well, this 50s looking front end. Which I'll admit, it is cool. You know what? No. He's actually moving faster than I thought he was. Wow, he really is putting the hammer down. Are they giving diesel trucks nitrous nowadays? Running like a scalded ape. Whoa, hey, wow, who is here? Hello. You feel like talking? I'm looking over my shoulder here. It's surprising me every day. Welcome, if you're new and you need to get to know me. I'm kind of trying not to go into my family inheritance of trucking. I would be the 4th generation, great-grandparent on my Nana's side, my sadly deceased Army veteran Papa, who drove trucks both in Nam and for civilian life after the war, and my dad, who is still trucking and has hauled everything from rocks and sand and limestone and sheetrock to citrus pellets, cow feed, because cows eat 7 days a week. Yeah, I know they do. I get that, okay? And now he hauls cars. Because apparently doing all of that and having the skill that he had wasn't enough. No, it's just to better provide for us, because we're a big family. We needed a house with an extra room, and, well, an actual house, because for the longest time we've been living in a double-wide trailer down a dirt road. That didn't stop him from showing off his skills. With a feed trailer pulled behind him, he could back down the entirety of our dirt road into our driveway in one shot and not have to pull up a single time. That's just impressive. I could sit and watch him do that every day when I catch him coming home. It's just impressive. And then me, I'm just a wannabe, and I don't really want to be a real trucker because there's too many regulations and the hours are consistently long. Regular people are... Oh, hi! Nanny, change your name on YouTube. We don't want people looking for you, but it's nice to see you. And don't you normally call me Mister? I'm old enough now that that name actually makes sense. Just don't call me preacher. I hear enough of that from Dad. Anyhow, this is just something I use to help me relax after what's now going to be my full-time job, and watching the house, and dealing with dogs. Nowadays, I'm just trying to convince Dad to believe more of the Bible. You ever read Deuteronomy chapter 8? You get down to verse 18 and all of a sudden it says, well, and I'm going to paraphrase to make it simple to understand, it is God that gives you the power to gain wealth. Excuse me? That was my first thought. He does what now? But it makes sense. When Solomon could have had anything from the Lord that he wanted, and he asked for wisdom, he also became the richest man of his era. So then I went and started looking at Proverbs, and out of nowhere in chapter 3 it talks about wisdom, her gains being better than gold, and her merchandise than precious silver, combining versions here. But it also says in her right hand is life, and in her left hand riches and honor. Very interesting. And now everybody can quote this verse in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, that says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness." That "and" being required. And all these things will be added unto you. How many people actually believe that? And what's even funnier, those Levitical laws, the laws of the land that the Israelites had to follow in order to steward the land that God was giving them slowly over time by driving the inhabitants out of the Canaan land with hornets. Because if he drove them all out at once, the beasts of the field would destroy the land. Because they would not be able to sustain it. So he let them learn how to do it slowly. But all those Levitical laws have something to do with how our current society functions. Which is periods of work and rest. Work and rest. For them, it was 6 days a week. And then it was 6 years. And then the 7th, you rested the field. For instance. And then every 50 years is Jubilee. But all those little laws, and also giving to the poor, the widows, the orphans, all of those rich elect of today's time are doing some portion of that. Now, whether they'll quote the Bible for that bit of inspiration or not is up to them, but the word is there. But preacher man, what about Jesus? He wasn't rich. Are you sure about that? The guy didn't lack anything. In fact, he could pull what he needed, air quotes, out of thin air. Of course he could. Because instead of the wealth being outside for people to see, his abundance was within that he could pull from. All because, as a man, he embodied the Godhead, 3 in 1. He already was the Word, but he also inhabited the Word. You could quote it back to the scribes and the Pharisees who wanted to use portions of it against him. Mainly, they tried to use the Mosaic, and he would quote parts that don't contradict, but they show why the law was put there in the first place. Then, of course, he was one with the Father because of his heart, his desire to do so, and his constant prayer and fasting. I mean, he was choosing. He could choose whether he ate or drank or slept. He didn't need to. You can look at the account of the woman at the well for that. Because, well, when they come, they being the disciples, to give him something to eat, he just plainly said, I have meat you know not of. And they all start questioning among themselves, who of us has been bringing the master something? And then he has to go into the details because, well, they're his friends. And he's not going to hide the truth from them. Little Subaru-baroo. So he said, my meat, otherwise my sustenance, what's keeping me going and feeding me, is to do the will of my Father. So then what? He was choosing to eat with the people because it made them feel more comfortable. I mean, when John's disciples asked Jesus why they aren't fasting, like John had his disciples doing, he just plainly had to say in a parable, well, actually it's not very plain at all, but he did explain afterwards, even to them, groomsmen fast during the wedding? And when the bridegroom and maid and the bride are there? No. Exactly. But when I am gone, then they will fast. Pretty easy to understand. Even though he didn't leave in the same way we thought, he just took away his physical presence. Because when he went, he prepared a place for us. And those of us who are born from above and carry the Spirit of God within us are seated with Christ in heavenly places. Infinite plural. He is as close to you as the mention of his name. Put that on a t-shirt. Jesus is as close to you as the mention of his name. I'm full of t-shirt quotes today. Good thing I have the card from someone who owns a t-shirt making website. Put them on Patreon or something. Say, hey guys, you like my t-shirt? You can go ahead and wear it. Dab of wisdom from God. Anyway, oh, I've been driving too long. And I'm blocked. So I'll give up some ground and give my guy a little sleep. I should be fine on time to do so. Aw, that's sweet of you, little way station. Allow me to bypass. That's good. Then I won't come into way, but I will come into sleep. Gonna need the rest. Even though, technically I don't have to. Oh, they blocked it off, did they? Oh, no, it's just a different way. Okay, that's fine. I see what they did. Pardon me. Wait a minute, is that it? Oh no, that's an exit? This has to be where you can entrance. Enter. I should have plenty of time. I say that because 30 hours, even if it drops to 29 before I sleep, that would give me 19 hours to make a 9-hour journey. Should be easy, especially with how fast this international is. Though the pink seats aren't the best, in my opinion. Did I pull the brake? There we go. In neutral, engine off. Well, Dad taught me a little trick. He's gonna have to lay his legs over there, put his head in the middle, and hope for the best that the floor is more comfortable than, well, what looks like truck tile. Nighty-night. And good morning. Let the truck warm up a little bit. And see, still have 20 hours to make a 9-hour drive. Alright, that's good. Tug test works. Let's head out. Oh, didn't quite turn like I thought it would. Why does that want me to go that way? Towards the scales? No thanks. I'm just gonna cut over here into the rock. Front tires should be fine. Oh, nope. I'm gonna need gas. Did I miss my chance? No, I should be able to make this one right here. Should, anyhow. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to ignore these signals. You can get 2 trucks past here as long as you take turns. Ha! Going in a turn. Take turns. Anyway. Put the pedal to the metal, lay it flat on the floor. I like how they have the detail of a bit of frack showing on the back of the trailer there. Really adds a bit of immersion. Real life driving habits showing, hugging the line. I need to not do that. But anywho, where are these people coming from? Oh, don't speed. Easy. I mean, I'm in a bit of a rush, but I don't have to speed that bad. Especially not with subject number 1 looking at me here. Yeah, you just get right on going there, Ossifer. I'm gonna follow you. Yes, I purposely said Ossifer. I know it's officer. I can even spell it. I'm still awake. If I wanted to, I could even say my ABCs backwards. Come on, give me the gap. Let me get behind the officer here of whichever county. Blinker didn't work. Let me check to see if it works. There we go. Might have to get my controller checked. My right bumper, which is designated for my right blinker and for shifting, is not 100% effective. Jeez, all we need is a fire truck and we've got the start of a bad joke. Because we got an ambulance and a patrol car. All we need is a fire truck. Oh, is that? Yes, it is. Way up there is a fire truck. That's funny. You can't make this stuff up. Wait a minute. Oh, I need to be using wisdom and patience. Guaranteed my driving mindset just said, hey, there's a gap, take it. But this next intersection is going to be the one I get off and get gas for. Well, this light, well, not light blue. It's not quite navy blue. Look, I have an ear for music. I don't know if I have an eye for color. So, I can't exactly say what shade of blue this is. Because I don't know what color is considered generic blue. Because I consider the sky between those clouds to be baby blue. And a couple of shades darker than that is navy blue. And see, that's a whole different blue as well. And then you've got the blue of that patrol car. Oh, you wouldn't let me through. Come on, be nice, little... What? Wait a minute, I've seen a car like that before. What's that thing called? Station wagon? Yeah, station wagon. Could have been a little bit nicer, but hey. Computers, what are you gonna do? Guarantee we're near some sort of airport. I just saw a plane taking off. Anyhow, hope y'all have enjoyed your days. Oh, he's flying low. What in the world are you doing? for fun and to relax at the end of the day, and my family keeps showing up. Well, apparently the crickets are happy enough to see me. I heard that. One thing that's hard to do is be quiet enough that these ears don't hear. Sometimes I get cable. Oh, wrong side. Give me a bit of mercy, I'm in a hurry. Now, I'd say I had about, I don't know, a fifth of the tank left. Come in here and fill. Must have 120 gallons. And my fuel expenses are covered by the employer. Very nice. Anyway. Yeah, I see why people like Peterbilt and Kenworth. Volvos are okay too. And, well, 2 out of 3 of the Internationals in-game are nice. Yes, I know I ran over that curb. I was trying not to get out of my lane. But the Lone Star is pretty good. I say it ties in favor with me and the 9900. Something about those long-nosed trucks looks really nice. I think in one of yeah, not just some, but one of my other profiles, I'm gonna look at modding in some more long-nosed trucks. The longest yard? Wait, did I quote that? I'll bet I did somewhere. Remind me, wait, which one? There's 2 longest yard movies, one with Adam Sandler, and one with the same dude from Smokey and the Bandit. What's up, bossy? B-25. Wait a minute, B-25, there's a certain plane that's got the designated number B-25. Let's see, I believe the B-24 is the Liberator, the B-17 is the Flying Fortress, one of them was the Super Fortress, the B-52 is the Stratofortress. Thank you, Burt Reynolds. Thank you, I appreciate that. I gotta, you know, tell the truth, shame the devil. Names have not been my strong suit in life. If I meet somebody and we talk a while, I'll remember their voice, I'll remember their face, I'll remember what we talked about, and the fun that I had. But a lot of times, the name just sneaks into the recesses of my mind. It's just like, oh hey, that face, what was their name again? And I have to go digging for it. Hopefully you don't have that kind of problem. But anyway, yeah. Christ, I really got off on a tangent there. Now, if I was taking an external contract, I would go off and see what that question mark was over there. But seeing as I'm on the game's time limit right now, and I'm only able to pull 1 load today, because I've got some stock taking courses to catch up on, this will have to do. Now, don't be fooled. I've been down this intersection a couple times when I was first playing the game. This is a very unnecessary detour. And what's sad is that's realistic. I've had that happen to me where 2 lanes will get to the same spot, and for some reason they're going to want me to merge off of this side just to come back over here. Why? Just no. A whole lot of no. down in the camper. Now see, that would be nice if I was actually in a truck. It'd probably be the only good thing. As long as you've got Freon and antifreeze, you can get a truck really cold. Gotten a couple cars pretty cold too. And if nothing else, you can roll down a window. You got the 255 cooling system. 2 windows down at 55 miles an hour. I can remember doing that in my old 77 Ford. I can also remember how bad it was in the hot summer days when I would be parked, having to wait on, well, people to get out of school, have to pick them up, and the truck would be super hot because my AC wasn't working. But anyway, that's just my current deal, is really meditating and thinking on Deuteronomy 8 and 18. Because the rich use it without God, but because the principle is set in the earth, it works for them. How much more so would it work for us? Well, yeah, us who actually have the word of life within us and the kingdom of heaven, if we were to use the same principles. It's not hard. Well, relatively. Because the way of a transgressor is hard. But last time I checked, the yoke is easy and the burden is light to those who come after Christ and receive his rest. The only thing hard about salvation is accepting it because of that whole guilt, shame, and hate mindset that everyone is born into. Unless you have really good parents, which I did. My parents did their absolute best to try to get the best out of me. But I had my own problems. There's no real fault to them. For 90% of the time, they were nothing but encouraging. And other family too, but my problem was me. It was a me-to-me issue. But I wouldn't be doing this if I still had it in the same strength. So, yay, progress. Anywho, now that's a nice car. That would be the kind of thing I would want as a Sunday driver. But since they don't have the insignias on the cars, except for, well, the semis, I have a hard time telling what vehicle that was. But I'm not a full old car aficionado. I just remember a lot about certain cars. Others, I wouldn't know from, well, European or Australian cars. No, I need to keep moving. I would stay in that right lane because I know trucks are supposed to, but at the same time, the game will allow me 5 over without getting a ticket, and now all of a sudden everybody finds their gas pedal. That's realistic. Sneak in over here. Gah, Smokey and the Bandit was a funny movie. Makes me miss Dad's old Basset Hound Fred, though. You done good, didn't you, Fred? Reminds me of that that song that Snowman sings in that one fun little bit that he gets with Fred hanging out the window. The more wheels I got, the better I like it. I'm the brother of a truck driving mother. Boogity 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 boogity. That ain't the right horn. Give me that. Alright, you know what? The game did not like that. Anyhow, this just is what it is. Roll on, 18-wheeler. That's a quick bit of trivia. Who sings that song? Roll on, 18-wheeler, roll on. Roll on! Somebody's gonna know what song that is. If you don't, you can say I give. Because I just listened to it last week, and that one part stuck in my head. Then again, it's been in my head for a long while. I just remembered it when I started driving, well, 18 wheels here. Oh, speaking of 18 wheels, technically the people I mentioned aren't the only truckers in the family. My Papa John's also a trucker, I believe for Walmart, and he pulls double trailers. They have those in-game. The difference being in real life you can separate the two trailers and pull each bit one at a time to get out of a sticky situation. Well, I can specifically remember being stuck in a small hotel-like area, thinking I could sleep for the night, and sleeping there and then tongue over my tooth, realizing that I was stuck. So that cost $12,000 in-game to fix. Ouch. But I learned to be very careful and to always pause the game and look at the rest areas. Because something little like that would be the area I'd get stuck in. That is just a mechanic type shop that has a convenient area for trucks to park in after they get worked on. So that wouldn't work. Pulling a trailer like I do now would be fine, but doubles, no. Same with that. This one, however, would be good enough. Now I know that is normally the ones that have the fuel stations have enough room to turn around in. Little things to keep in mind so I don't embarrass myself. Then again, this is just a game. I can get over it. Alabama, thank you. They are a good group. If I wouldn't get copyright struck or YouTube wouldn't have a tantrum with me playing music, I could download some because conveniently this game has a music player. You put your own songs into ATS and your documents, and then they'll pop up there. Which would be super nice to have some trucking music. And you know, just put in some old gospel every so often. Gotta admit, some of those Redback hymnals are really good songs. Even though I'm not leaving, and when the roll is called up yonder, I'll be here. One way or another. Somebody's got to believe when the Bible says you seek after glory, honor, and immortality. Yes, it says that. You can look. Now, it may not say immortality if you're not looking in the old KJV, but it's there, and it's equivalent. Because also in Proverbs chapter 12, verse 28, says, "In the way of righteousness is life, and the pathways thereof, there is no death. Huh. There's how much death? There's all death, or there's no death. There's no death except for the physical. No. It says no death. Oh, and also, before anybody says anything, it's Rascal Flatts that sings the song Life is a Highway. It's famous for being in the Cars movie. Starting to think that it is. Like to believe that it is, but I'd have to have more than just an office job to take the roads less traveled. Because anybody can work a full-time job and work until they retire, and then if they can retire. But the real liberty is finding that abundant life in Christ. Now, not to say it's to be found in money, because better is the pennies of a righteous man than the riches of the wicked. But it's not about the money, it's about the stewardship. The man who gave his servants a miriam each, when the one turned it into 2, he was given rulership over 2 cities, and the one turned it into 5, he was given rulership over 5 cities. So money is just a tool to be used to bring forth the kingdom in a different manner. Now, God will always bless the widow's mites, but last time I checked, when Jesus turned 5 loaves and 2 fish into 12 baskets of leftovers after feeding 5,000 men plus women and children, those 12 baskets had to go somewhere, and either the disciples kept them, or he gave them back to the same boy who gave up his lunch. So, look at that however you will. I mean, he even said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God's. Last time I checked, money is, well, through the law, supposed to be 10% of your first fruits unto God before you do anything else with the rest. Because that's a part of how you lay up for yourselves those treasures in heaven, which no moth or rust can corrupt. But if you're laying up treasures in heaven, didn't God say He would open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you cannot contain? So that means something has to be the activation for that. And that's trying the Lord. Not testing His patience kind of thing, like in that movie Bruce Almighty, when he's trying to do the whole, how many fingers are behind my back? That's just you take Him at His word in faith, not out of selfishness, but out of desire for Him, and let Him prove His word. If you want a good activation of it, you can start by giving. Isn't that counterintuitive? No. It's every time there is a season. Last time I checked, the only way to get a harvest is to sow. And if you give, it's given unto you in good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. If you calculate that, at bare minimum, you have to have a 5 times return. Because for it to be given unto you is times 1, of good measure is 2, pressed down is 3, shaken together is 4, and running over is 5. And that happened to me. Give 20 bucks to a couple in Walmart to help pay for gas. Get 100 bucks from my dad out of nowhere because they appreciated what I do. Was his reason. So I got a 5 times return. And then my mama wins $500 for them off a scratch off. So they got a 500 times return off of what they gave me. And that was 2 examples that went back to back in the family. So, pretty easy thing to understand that you use the principles that God gave us to steward the land that is given unto us, and you will succeed. For He is the author and the finisher of our faith. Faith itself being the substance of what's hoped for, and the evidence of the things that you can't see yet. So, walk by faith. You gotta have faith, faith, faith. Are my lights on? Now they are. That'd have been embarrassing. Well, would have been if I could be embarrassed by that kind of a mistake. But anyway, this has been a nice little drive so far. Actually a bit longer than I was expecting it to be. Hey, I mean, make good content. Got 70 miles to go and I'm chewing through it. These have all been standard deliveries too because my poor character is low level. Well, he's not poor, but he's just growing. It's only level 5, so this 11 hours to spare, 1 hour to get there, I would have to really mess up in order for this to not work. And Lord willing, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, Lord knows, with how my brain has been trained, I guess almost Pavloved, into getting sleepy when hearing truck engines. I could not be a real truck driver. Ooh, not this lane. Gotta blame my silverback gorilla looking dad. Sneaking me out with him to go and grab a load and come home. Always make me sleepy sitting in the bed of his truck. And now it's just gotten to the point where I drive like this and I'll nod off in real life, and that's not helpful. That's how I knew this stream wasn't going to be a long one. Or so I thought. Up, we're here. Oxnard. Nard. Okay, whatever. Doing good on fuel. At least if I need to check, I can also go down here. And yeah, it says the tank is good for 274 miles. Well, you know, it goes down 1 every mile, so I should be good to go. Okay, here we go. Now things get fun. Let's see. I gotta get right there. There's absolutely no way in the world I'm going to be taking this side route all the way up here. All the way back here. Through Santa Maria. So, Lord willing, this is going to be the only portion that's blocked. So I can take this side here. Maybe sneak into here. And do a U-ey. And start heading back. I shouldn't need the fuel. So as long as I'm careful about the traffic... Ooh, goodness, something bad happened over there. Anyway. Just as I thought everything was running smoothly, I got too comfortable. But there's another reason to enjoy the game. That's just base game settings for me. I could technically turn the detours off and turn down traffic to where it's less. I could take the limiter off the truck and start driving by the car speed limit, but that's not fun. That's not what got me into this game anyway. Oh, what did I say? I was going to do a U-ey. It's okay, I'll just sneak into here. Go through the chem station and turn around. Or, I do have a day cab. I could probably sneak one right here. No traffic coming. Nobody there, nobody there. Probably wouldn't be able to get away with that in real life, because there'd be far too much traffic, but hey, I did it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a co-pilot, co-driver eventually. I'll keep that in mind. See if I can get another mic, or maybe figure out how to program or get some kind of AI-generated controlling system and be able to swap controls on the fly. That would actually be a very nice stream idea. I'll keep that in mind. Two guys on the road trying to make a living, all of a sudden they need to make a serious load. And it has to be there by yesterday, so to speak. And so they take turns swapping in the middle of driving, back and forth, getting rest while the other is working. That'd be a cool thing to pull off. But I'd have to figure out who I could do that with. It's not going to be my dad, because he's got a full-time job trucking, and he's about sick and tired of it. My cruise control wasn't working. Anyhow, I'll get the idea for that ironed out later. But here's where I'm going. Nice, made good time on it too. Not too shabby, at least. I like how they have the NPCs walking, but none of them turn their heads to the random truck pulling in. Ah, okay. Yeah, see, I need the XP, so let's just see what I can do here. However, I am on a laptop, so gonna need to probably go into one of the third-person views in order to get in the spot beside... Oh, of course, it's by the wall beside the trailer. Alright, let's see what I can do. Pull this... Ooh, okay, yep, that should work, actually. Let's see here. Nice and easy. so I can line this up correctly. Alright, now I need to catch up. I don't think I have enough room. Nope! Just gonna have to roll with that. Catch up real quick. There we go. Yep, should be fine. Just need to pull it in a little bit more to the left. Well, the driver's right, my left. Okay, we'll pull up. Dad said you can have a bit of leniency to pull up one time. So let's see if I can get this a little bit closer to the middle. This thing does not like to turn with the wheels being right on the back of it. I'm gonna have to force it over a little bit more. Yeah, I know I can skip parking. I don't want to do that. Okay. This will have to work. They'll take it. I know that. And bingo. Alright, neutral and straighten the wheel so I can look at the parking brake. Good. Shut the truck off. And we're good. And see, good EXP reward. Level up one good time. But the best way is to just go for distance. He's going the distance. He's going for speed. Of course, that song's gonna be in my head. And other than that, I'd have to say I'm done for the night. So, go ahead and save in my standard. And last of all, most importantly, thank y'all for watching. In the meantime, I'm going to catch up on my classes. So, good night, morning, or evening to whoever sees this.